Watch. Kamala Harris completely bombs her first solo interview. I mean, what would you expect, man? Even though she was getting lofted softball, she still couldn't swing and hit. I mean, jumbo word salads and all that other stuff. We're gonna play some clips. We're gonna talk about it. I don't know why anyone would vote for this woman. I really don't. I really don't. It makes absolutely no sense. But we're gonna talk again. We're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check me out on Instagram and X as well, where I put my news and thoughts there throughout the evening there as well. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Red State, from Bunchy. This is my second article from Bunchy today. Bunchy is putting in work, or Bunchy. I still am not sure how to pronounce that name. I apologize. But anyway, they report that after nearly 2 months of procrastination, Kamala Harris finally did her solo interview since shoving Joe Biden out the presidential race. Now, mind you, they didn't advertise this. I mean, we just heard about it. I just heard about this all of a sudden. Like, where did this come from, right? This is how you know they believe she lost the debate, because she's finally coming out of hiding. Even though the media tried to cape for her and said, "Oh, she did such an awesome job." If she did such an awesome job, but didn't move the needle whatsoever in her favor. So that's why she's coming out and doing this sit down, which is, again, it was a disaster. But on Friday, the vice president sat with the local ABC News affiliate in Philadelphia to answer questions for a whole 10 minutes. Now, of course, she's in Philadelphia because it's a swing state that she has to win. If they know, well, they believe, and most people believe that's looking at this, believe that if she does not win Philadelphia, she will lose the entire race. So she's sitting down with the local Philly news. That's why she's actually sitting down with these people, because she has to now. She knows she has to. But funny enough, the reporter who conducted the interview has a history of being called when Democrat presidential nominees need a boost. Look at it right here. This is a post from John Hassan. He said, LMAO, sorry, struggle reading today, y'all. This is the Philly reporter doing Camilla's pre-taped interview tonight. Of course, it's always pre-taped. I would love to see her sit down live. But they got this highlighted here. When President Obama saw his first term bogged down by souring polls, Brian was invited to the White House for an exclusive conversation with the president in a historic cabinet room. So they use this guy as a mouthpiece to get their word out. They know he's going to ask softball questions. Well, sure enough, the questioning wasn't exactly tough, and Harris was instead asked a variety of softballs, like I was just alluding to. The problem? She couldn't answer them. She couldn't even answer the softball questions. Greg Price said, "Oh my goodness, this is an absolute train wreck." I'm not even gonna read it. I'm just gonna play it. Let's play it here.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised...
It's the same statement. She said this. We heard this already during the debate. We heard this many a times. We hear about this on the road. That's not what we're asking about you growing up in a so-called middle-class family. We want to know specifics. What are you going to do to fix this economy? I mean, she's starting off going back to the same thing that she always says. Man.
Raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager.
Word for word, verbatim, exactly what she said during the debate.
I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, and I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity. And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business.
How? What is she talking about? She did not answer the question. This is, how is the media allowing her to get away with this? Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It makes no sense. But a presidential nominee is not going to get an easier question than that. It's basically the equivalent of asking, tell me how amazing you are. All Harris had to do was lay out a couple of specific steps she would take to lower prices. You know, like lower taxes or something, or if you don't believe in that, raise taxes or whatever it is. You know, give us something tangible that we can critique or say if we like or not. You know, compare and contrast to Trump policies. She won't even do that. Instead, she spent a minute and a half filibustering exactly like she did during the debate. What did I say during the debate? She never answered any questions. She filibustered until her time ran out. Talking about pure irrelevancy. No person who can't afford groceries cares that she grew up middle class, or that the people in the neighborhood mowed their lawns. Right? They got nothing to do with specific policies. We're asking specifically, what would you do? And she just kept going too. Here's her expounding on her so-called opportunity economy. And remember, Trump did have something called opportunity zones. And he signed it into law that actually helped people, opportunity zones. She's like ripping everything from Trump, but won't give you any specifics on how she would do it, though.
About developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work, and maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another...
No specifics. What is she talking about here? Can anyone pick out an actual policy proposal in that word salad? No. She keeps talking about investing in things, but doesn't specify a single thing she'd invest in. Quote, dreams and aspirations. They're not a tangible government policy, nor does spending gobs of money do anything to help bring down the cost for the middle class. This is the same slop she served up at the debate. Yes, she was well rehearsed, but underneath the facade, there was nothing there. That's exactly my point. That's exactly what I said after the debate. It was no substance and nothing. She filibustered the whole time, but it was more structured because she practiced it. She rehearsed it. She just went through everything she went through during that she practiced, and didn't really give us any specifics. It was a weird debate where she never. Where the moderators never even held her accountable and made her answer the actual questions that they asked. Well, when Harris was asked about what makes her different from Joe Biden, she didn't have an answer for that either. This is supposed to be a layup for her. Here we go.
I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work. And maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to...
And she said, "Oh, her tax credit is a new idea." It's not a new idea. Trump did it when he was in office. He raised the child tax credit, and he said he was going to raise it again. And then Kamala Harris went and jacked it and said, "Well, I'll up it. I'll raise it even further, $6,000. I don't know where we're going to get the money from, but we're going to figure it out." You know what I'm saying? And I mean, this is terrible. This is terrible. So let you think I'm just picking out the lowlights of an otherwise stellar interview. Remember, I'm sorry, least you think I'm just picking out the lowlights of an otherwise stellar interview. Remember, this thing was only 10 minutes long. I take craps longer than that. How can it only be 10 minutes? And that includes the opening pleasantries. So here are a few more clips. At this point, I've posted about half of what she said. So here we go. Here's another clip here. Kamala uses a lot of words to say absolutely nothing. Here we go.
My approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
Look at his face. He's like, I don't know what to make of this. I mean, you absolutely said nothing here, but let's go with it. You know, this is crazy that they are not holding her feet to the fire. Well, we got another one here. Let's see if this is a different clip. But Trump War Room posted this.
What do you understand his appeal to be, and how do you speak to his voters, or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
I, based on experience and a lived experience, no. In my heart, I know. In my soul, I know that the vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans.
We don't care about these platitudes, lady. What are you going to do to fix what you broke? That's what we're asking. That's what we're asking. And the answer to the question is she don't have a way of fixing it. She don't have a way of fixing it. That's why she can't give you any specifics except for the stuff that she stole from Trump and price controls. She can't give you any specifics because she don't know how to fix what they broke. It's more of the same. She wouldn't change anything. That's what the real thing is. That's what the real deal is. Because the puppet masters that run Joe Biden is the same puppet masters that run her.
And not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other. Wow. Look, it's obvious she prepared a lot for the debate, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Her answers were generic tripe, but at least she delivered them well. I say she delivered them okay. This interview is a return to who Harris normally is, though. She's a lazy, entitled politician, and no one should listen to these exchanges and believe she has what it takes to be the president of the United States. This is why her team doesn't let her do interviews. It's one thing to join in on a 3-on-1 bout at a debate in which the moderators were walking her through everything and constantly interrupting her opponent. When she's got no one to deflect to, she can't answer basic questions. And her campaign is nothing but vibes. Frankly, America is in bad enough shape that vibes aren't going to cut it. 1000% agree with that. Thank you, Bunchy, for this wonderful article. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below.
Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.